How's
Good.
what?
How's everything with you? Good to see you.
Everything's good with me.
Everything's good?
Yeah.
P. Diddy has a buddy of his that he's been producing music with for a while, and that buddy rubs shoulders consistently with Epstein. Consistently. So, Oprah supposedly is on that list in a hidden way because Oprah has bumped shoulders numerous times with Epstein, numerous times with Harvey Weinstein, numerous times with well-known pedophiles, and she is frequently seen with P. Diddy.
I would have whooped the all right.
You know a trial's about to get messy when the witness stand turns into a celebrity roll call. And that's exactly what happened when Shannon Sharpe opened his mouth in Diddy's case, dropping not just Diddy's name, but Oprah Winfrey and Tyler Perry too. Now, Diddy being mentioned here makes sense. It's his trial. Tyler Perry? Sure. He's connected in the Hollywood circle. But Oprah? That's the part that made everyone in the room sit up, because you don't just casually throw Oprah's name into something like this unless there's a reason. And there is a reason. See, Oprah and Diddy weren't exactly strangers. They've been at the same high-profile events, moved in the same elite circles, and even had overlapping friendships with people now in the spotlight for all the wrong reasons. Plus, her name's been brought up before in other controversies, like when Seal posted that photo of her kissing Harvey Weinstein, or when Rose McGowan accused her of enabling certain men in the industry. So no, this wasn't some random name drop. There's history here, and Shannon clearly knew saying her name would get attention. And the thing is, once your name pops up in a case like this, it's really hard to make it disappear.
Anything I say, you're just gonna get mad at, and you're just gonna hang up on me. So I feel like
I'm not gonna hang up on you. Here's what it is.
what does that even mean?
Nothing yet. You want to be a dick to me now, so.
I don't want to be. Don't manipulate me.
Alright, so here's where things start snowballing. Diddy's already in trouble, and when something like this breaks open, it's never just the main guy under the microscope. Here's the thing, anyone who's ever been in that circle suddenly starts sweating. Even if you didn't personally do anything shady, the fact you were there means the FBI will want to know why. They'll ask who you saw, and what you knew. And once the feds start digging, they're not exactly gentle about it. If that sounds far-fetched, remember the Jeffrey Epstein situation. Plenty of people swore up and down they didn't know anything, but just being on the guest list was enough to get dragged into the headlines and grilled by investigators. Once your name's tied to a place like that, it sticks. That's why a lot of folks who've been to Diddy's parties aren't exactly sleeping easy right now. And guess whose name is now getting pulled right into that mess? Yep, Oprah. Now, this isn't just some random rumor floating in the wind. Shannon Sharpe actually brought her name up in court, and he didn't just toss it out there casually. He tied her name to very specific incidents. According to Shannon, Oprah tried to get him to take down certain interviews from his show Club Shay Shay. He says she wasn't alone. Other big names allegedly joined in, but he didn't budge. He kept those episodes up. And from his point of view, that's when they started moving against him, trying to damage his career. Here's why that part's believable. His interview with Cat Williams wasn't just big, it was massive. It crossed over from the sports world into mainstream internet drama. Even people who don't follow football or podcasts were sharing clips. So yeah, if you're Oprah or another major name keeping tabs on what's being said in the industry, that episode would've definitely hit your radar. But this beef between Shannon and Oprah? It didn't start with Club Shay Shay. There's history here, and not the friendly kind. Shannon says Oprah blindsided him years ago by bringing his parents on her show without giving him a heads up. Imagine that. You walk onto a set thinking you're there for a casual conversation, and suddenly your family's there on national TV. He claims it was humiliating and that she did it just to pull out an emotional moment for rating. And honestly, that's not hard to picture. If you've ever watched Oprah in her prime, you've seen her push guests into deep, vulnerable territory, sometimes without warning. That emotional gotcha style was part of what made her show famous. Whether you liked it or not, it got people talking. So, It's not a stretch to believe Shannon when he says he felt played in that moment. When you're in Hollywood, as long as Oprah, every connection you've ever had can come back to haunt you, especially when those old connections have already been called out publicly. One of the biggest hits to her public image came when singer Seal posted a photo of her kissing Harvey Weinstein on the cheek. It wasn't just the image itself, it was the caption. Seal accused her of knowing exactly who Weinstein was and still playing nice with him in public. That post didn't just quietly fade away, it blew up, sparking endless threads and YouTube breakdowns about Oprah's real role in Hollywood's power circles. People didn't forget, so when Shannon Sharpe's comments now start painting her as someone who protects big names and controls narratives, this old moment suddenly feels relevant again. Then there's Rose McGowan, one of the most vocal voices in the Me Too movement. She didn't hold back either, directly calling Oprah out for enabling predators. That type of public accusation sticks because it's coming from someone who's already exposed others successfully. Now connect that history to the fact Oprah has been spotted at Diddy's events before. No one's saying she was involved in anything illegal, but in the public's eyes, it's enough to create a pattern. Being close to powerful men later accused of serious crimes. And once that image is in people's heads, it's hard to shake. Seal's post going viral wasn't just gossip, it laid the groundwork for how people interpret news stories about Oprah, which means Shannon's testimony isn't landing in a vacuum. And the fans never forget, especially when old pictures start looking like new evidence. When scandals start spreading, the ripples pull in people you wouldn't expect. Take Justin Bieber. Old clips have resurfaced of Diddy joking about having custody of Bieber when he was just 15. Back then, most people laughed it off as weird humor. But now, in the context of everything coming out, it's being rewatched with a completely different lens. Even if Bieber himself never accused Diddy of anything, the fact those clips exist means they're part of the public conversation, and that conversation is getting louder. Then there's Kevin Hart. Right before Diddy's arrest, Hart suddenly shut down a string of his restaurants. Was it just bad timing? Maybe, but in the age of speculation, people start connecting dots that may or may not be connected in real life. Kevin has been publicly friendly with Diddy over the years, appearing together at events and even joking about their friendship, so when his business closures happen at the exact time Diddy's name is in headlines daily, it naturally fuels the rumor mill, whether it's fair or not. Because when one domino falls in Hollywood, you better believe the rest start wobbling. Here's the thing about federal investigations. The FBI doesn't care how famous you are, how many awards you've won, or how big your public platform is. If your name pops up in connection with someone they're investigating, you're automatically on their radar. That doesn't mean you're guilty, but it does mean they'll want to talk to you. And sometimes being brought in as a witness can turn into something more serious if they believe you're hiding anything, even accidentally. With Diddy's case, prosecutors have already seized 96 electronic devices from his world. Phones, laptops, hard drives, tablets. They're combing through all of it, looking for links to people, places, and events. If Oprah's name, email, or messages show up in that pile, she could easily find herself having to answer uncomfortable questions. On camera, Oprah's built an entire empire around empathy, empowerment, and standing up for victims, especially women. She's interviewed survivors, exposed abusive systems, and championed movements that align with protecting the vulnerable. It's the face the public knows. But behind the curtain, some critics argue there's a different picture. They claim Oprah has stayed silent on certain powerful men's wrongdoings, not out of ignorance, but to protect her own standing in Hollywood. The most obvious example, her long-standing friendship with Harvey Weinstein. Photos of them together, including one where she's whispering in his ear at an event, still circulate every time her name is tied to a scandal. Even though Oprah has denied knowing about Weinstein's crimes before they broke, the doubt has stuck. And that's the thing, when people have already built that image in their heads, each new controversy doesn't start fresh. It adds another layer to the suspicion. Every handshake, every old photo, every shared event gets re-examined, and in a business where your brand is everything, once people start questioning it, rebuilding trust is a slow climb. And once people start questioning your brand, it's a long road back. Shannon's testimony about Diddy is making headlines right now, but big cases like this rarely stay in a neat little box. Diddy might be the focal point, but investigations tend to follow the threads, and those threads could lead to a circle of names that's bigger than anyone's ready for. We've seen it happen before. R. Kelly's trial started as a case about one man, but once the door cracked open, years of buried accusations against multiple people surfaced. Different victims, different timelines, but all connected by the same social circles and unspoken Hollywood rules. If the Diddy case follows that pattern, the fallout could be huge. Remember, the FBI isn't just building a case on one incident, they're mapping connections, tracking events, and looking at the network that allows certain behaviors to continue. That means anyone who worked closely with him, attended his private gatherings, or helped manage his image could end up answering tough questions. And if this goes the same way, a lot of people who thought they were untouchable are about to find out they're not. Right now, the FBI is still deep in evidence collection. The trial hasn't hit the big public stage yet. That means the quiet part of the investigation, the part where new names get flagged and new witnesses are approached, is still happening behind closed doors. But it won't stay that way forever. In high-profile cases like this, the next big headline can drop at any moment. And given how connected Diddy's world is to some of the biggest names in entertainment, the list of possible revelations is long. Hollywood might still be smiling for the cameras, but behind the scenes, a whole lot of people are calling their lawyers. What do you think? Is Oprah just guilty by association here? Or could this investigation actually pull her into the spotlight? And if more names drop, who do you think might be next? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if you want to stay on top of every twist in this case, make sure to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss the next update.